Now as I text,
Gotta plug this in.
prevent it.
Great. But I will.
Hey, Mark,
Yeah.
I got my email. I'm reappointed.
Oh, wow.
Michael? I didn't know if I should take that as a bad.
I haven't gotten one either.
I haven't gotten one.
Two signing.
Oh, okay, I haven't checked my email. All right.
I don't, but I'm gonna hope it's alphabetical.
All right. Plug this in.
Mark, did all the notices go out?
Good.
I think it's the first I'm hearing this. They thought they might have been done.
You're reappointed. Congratulations.
Well done.
My first name starts with an A, my last name starts with a B, so I'm gonna be at the beginning of the list.
All right, let's get started. So, okay, it looks like we have a good number of people on. So hi, everybody. This is the Monday, May 6th version of the CB2 Street Activities and Resiliency Committee. This meeting, we typically reviews proposed street activities for that occur within Community District 2. We're going to just go mostly in order on here. When there's a couple multiple presenters who will allow to go at the same time or who have multiple events. Basically, the format will be if you could just present the event that you were planning. You can keep it fairly brief, but please try to share, any relevant details you have. And then we may have some questions for each event. And we'll go through it that way. So just to introduce people in the room, it looks like we have a pretty full committee today, which is great. So I'm Will Benish, the chair of the committee. Going around the room, we have Erica Olson, Amy Brenna, Ryder Kessler, Michael Levine, Rocio Sands, and Brian Cave. And Ed Ma, of course, online. So without further ado, let's get started. I think the first one here is the Moonlight Studios McLaren event. Do we have someone here? Oh, and I should have mentioned, if I call out your event, please raise your hand. Okay, let's promote. Laura, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Hi, welcome. How are you?
Nice to see everybody. I don't have site plans or anything like that because this is a basic kind of curb lane. But I'll start with Moonlight Studios is hosting a McLaren event. McLaren is race cars or sports race cars. We're doing our load in, or they're doing the load in starting on the 8th, and we're taking the Charlton Street, a partial curb lane on Charlton Street on 5/8. And then on 5/9, we'll be taking, we're keeping the curb lane on Charlton Street from 5/8 through 5/9 until 11:59 p.m. on 5/9, so that their production can load in. They need to actually get the vehicles into Moonlight Studios, which is located at 330 Hudson Street. So there'll be 3 to 4 cars inside the venue. And on 5/9, then they're going to park 3 McLaren vehicles on Hudson Street, and we'll start that curb lane early in the morning on Hudson Street, but we'll be holding the Charlton Street curb lane from 5/8. And that's my whole story.
So, okay, so is this is purely a load in or load out, or you have vehicles going to be in the curb lane as well?
There will be vehicles
activation?
During the activation on the 9th. There'll be 3 McLaren vehicles parked on Hudson Street. They can't park right in front of Moonlight Studios because that's on the corner and there's a bus stop on the corner. But if you go south past the bus stop, there's a few spaces there, and that's where on May 9th, they'll be using that portion of the curb lane to display 3 of these race cars.
Okay, got it. But there's no sort of actual activation along the sidewalk or the curb lane, like in conjunction with the cars being parked there. Like, are there going to be giveaways or handouts or? No? Okay.
No, we'll have 3 security officers, 1 at each vehicle to make sure that the public doesn't overwhelm the vehicles or try to get into the vehicles or touch the vehicles. My understanding is they're very expensive vehicles. I'm not a car person, so
Yeah.
this is
They're-
apparently a very expensive brand.
Yes.
So I have an officer posted at each of the vehicles on Hudson Street on the 9th when they arrive, and I believe it's the afternoon. Let me just give you as many details as I have is what I'm gonna
Okay.
give you. Yes, the event actually itself will be between, say, 4 p.m. and 11 p.m. on the 9th. My officers start there at 3 p.m. so that they can line up the cars, but I'm actually capturing the curb lane at 7 a.m. so we can get those ideal spots and let the public have the rest of whatever they need on Hudson Street.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. So this was sent in as a street event small, but it actually sounds closer to a production event. If there's
It
no.
really is. It's because of this branded vehicle that the SAPO assessment is higher. Like if you put
Yeah,
3
it
of the
makes
same
sense.
make, then SAPO gets more money to do this. But basically, it's a production event. Most of it is for load in, load out, and I don't
Got
know.
it. And if you just, last question, if you just tell me where, say one more time, sorry, where the 3 cars are going to be parked? Which curb
On
lane?
Hudson, it's okay, so it would be on the east side of Hudson Street between Charlton and Van Dam. And it's gonna be south of the corner of Charlton because there's a bus stop on right at the corner of Charlton and Hudson. So we have to give the space to the bus stop. And there's actually an office building, or the building 330 Hudson has an entrance, and that's really where the 3 cars will start to be parked from the Charlton Street side going down to the Van Dam side. So from north going south, really.
Got it. Okay, I think I see that. Okay. All right. Questions?
What is Moonlight Studios exactly?
Moonlight Studios is an event venue that's been in the 330 Hudson space since the Cadillac House. The Cadillac House was the initiator of this event space there. So it's kind of there's a ground floor, and it has kind of an open event area. And then there's a small courtyard that it exits into. In addition to having an entrance, the main entrance is on Hudson Street, and then there's a little side entrance on Charlton Street.
Will any of the cars be over there at all?
There will be cars inside the venue, and then there'll be cars parked outside on Hudson Street on the 9th during their event timing.
How many cars altogether will you have?
I believe there's going to be, well, they said 3 to 4, so let's go with 4 inside the venue and 3 to 4, 3 outside of the venue, because I believe that's all the space that block will accommodate. You hit a hydrant when you get closer to Van Dam.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh,
Question,
Looks like there's a lot of.
question, Will?
Sure.
What happens inside and outside? What is the difference?
There's no
inside.
activation outside. It's
Yeah,
literally
there's
just-
nothing other than those 3 cars being outside on Hudson Street. There's no other activation.
there's
No
nothing.
one will go inside the venue.
No, there's an event inside, but nothing else is happening outside, Michael. It's just 3 cars parked outside.
Laura, you said you're loading in on the 8th. You're taking the partial curbway on Charlton. What time?
We are starting that curb lane at 3 p.m. on the 8th. The parking regulations on Charlton Street, on the south side of Charlton Street between Hudson and Barrack, is truck loading only. Every single time that there's an event, there are regular cars parked there. So we're capturing the curb lane in advance so that in the early morning on the 9th, they can load their vehicles in to the venue itself. And the window on the Charlton Street side moves so that you can get vehicles inside. This event space was created as Cadillac House to get vehicles inside the building.
I think unless anyone has anything else, we can move on. This seems pretty basic. Okay, thanks a lot. I don't see any questions or hands raised. Okay, thanks a lot, Laura.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, next up, we have Universal Music, NIFTA at Broadway. This is May 9th. Yeah, thanks.
May 9th, before our board.
A lot of these are May 9th because the food truck ones have a really short turnaround, as we know. A lot of these are early.
Hello,
Hey,
how's it going?
going. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, of course. I'm just gonna pull up, I have a quick little presentation. Sorry, I'm not used to Zoom.
Rob, you should be able to share your screen. It should let you.
Yeah, I just don't want to share my whole screen, so I'm just trying to figure out how to do this. I don't know how to do this. But I can just speak to the event. Basically, so Universal Music has a group called 17 they're 17 band, and they're basically promoting their new album release. And so to celebrate the event, they are doing a food truck activation, handing out ice cream with 4 different flavors. We're going to be parking on Broadway between let me just pull it up.
Austin and Pren.
Yes, on the west curb lane. And we're going to be handing out ice cream, some promotional items like branded stickers from the truck as well. We have a few brand ambassadors on site who will be wearing branded t-shirts. A couple of them will be managing the line and engaging with guests to explain to them what's going on. We will have also stanchions for line control, and we'll make sure that there's going to be 5 feet of pedestrian egress. We will also have trash on site to make sure that whoever is finishing their ice cream cups, trash it away in these garbage bins. And then our team will make sure to bring it back to our warehouse, and trash it there. Our activation hours will be loading in around 9 a.m. The service will be from 12 to 6 p.m. And there won't be any like amplified sound or anything like that. But yeah, just a celebration of the new music album. It's a Korean K-pop band, so they're excited.
Are they going to be there?
They're not going to be there, unfortunately. It would be fun.
Okay, and so on the application, it says load-in starts at 6 a.m. I assume that's not going to happen. It's actually going to be closer to 9.
Yeah, we'll probably pull in some production vehicles, just like our support vehicle, just to like ensure the space is cleared. But the actual truck itself will load it a little bit later than that.
Okay.
Have enough time to set up before the event.
Okay, cool. And did you say do you know exactly which address you're going to be in front of?
Yeah, it's gonna be 575 Broadway.
575. And approximately how many people do you expect to be there? Do you have like a certain number of servings you're giving out?
Yeah, throughout the day, a few hundred.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like right in front of the Forever 21, I think.
The address for whoever asked to repeat is 575 Broadway.
Okay. West. All right, do we have any questions in the room? Any questions online? Please raise your hand.
So there will not be any music outside at all?
No.
So how are you promoting? Just the fact you're giving ice cream out and that's it?
Yeah, they're gonna give ice cream out, some stickers, branded napkins. Yeah, it's a pretty simple event. They basically the menu, so they're partnering with, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the ice cream brand called Jenny's, but they're kind of partnering with them, and so they created a menu board with the flavors matching the songs.
Thank you.
Is there a comment in the chat?
No, just asking to repeat the address.
Got it.
Any further questions? I don't see anything. Okay. Thanks a lot, Brittany.
Well, thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
All righty. Next up, another ice cream cart, J. Crew ice cream cart. Do we have someone here from J. Crew ice cream cart? Please raise your hand. This would be, you see anyone? Mark?
Different flavors for different kinds of pants.
Is that what it says?
No, I made that up.
It's good logo. Do we have Brad Adkins on? No? Okay. So moving on, I think next we'll have, is Evan on? Okay, wait, okay, Pete, yeah, go ahead, let Pete come.
What else?
Pete, we will have a problem.
Hi, so, hi, thank you for letting me talk about this one. It could get very confusing. I know you'll tell SAPO they didn't show up but this is probably gonna get approved. Maybe not, but there's a new store opening. They want to be at the curb, giving out stuff opposite the door to their new store. So you're gonna have people going back and forth from the curb into the store, out of the store to the curb. So you have that and then conflicting with people coming down the sidewalk. This requires management. I'm worried about it, but just wanted to raise that.
All right, why don't we just note that one? Mark?
Yes.
Okay, all right,
And
thank you.
you're gonna,
That's the ice cream, so let's just note to SAPO that it's gonna be a store opening at the same time, so it's gonna be a heavy crowd on the sidewalk if they do this.
what's the name of the store?
J. Crew.
Oh,
Okay.
All right,
thank you.
thanks, Pete. Okay, now,
And sorry, this is the one that on the other side of the street, the sidewalk is closed, so there's actually gonna be extra people on.
Oh, wow,
the side
okay.
of the street.
there you go.
Not the whole thing, but.
That portion of the sidewalk's closing it. Okay. So next we have meat packing crew. I think Evan was gonna.
Bless you.
Bless you.
I see Kevin. Okay, let's come up, Kevin.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can. How's it
Great,
going?
good evening. I'm doing well. I am Evan Sweet. I'm the Director of Neighborhood Planning and Operations for the Meatpacking Business Improvement District. I'm here logged in under my colleague's name, Kevin Capuno. But we're here nonetheless to talk about our upcoming event, Meatpacking Crew, Big Easy Street event, which is taking place this Saturday on Gansevoort Street between 9th Avenue and Washington Street. The plan for this event is actually pretty similar to an event you've already approved in the past, which was Crew's Crawfish Boil event, which happened last year in 2023. This year, really excited to help support that event and support the kind of the work that Crew is doing and their interest in activating that street with a larger block-wide street event. If I can, I will just quickly share my screen to show you a brief site plan for the event. But to overview, really, this is an afternoon of community activities. There's some food giveaways. There's also going to be live music as well as some fun and games like cornhole and other kind of just like regular street games that one might play during a street closure event like this. We're also supporting Crew in their setup of their Crawfish Festival. So as part of this event, there is a ticketed event in itself, which is the Crawfish Boil, which they anticipate having 300 to 400 attendees for as part of that. And so they will be serving crawfish as well as beer and wine. And then in addition to that, made available to the public is ice cream provided by Van Leeuwen and fried chicken provided by Popeyes. The bid is going to be closing the streets to help maintain the street closure. Crew is also bringing on security to make sure they're doing their necessary ID checks and to make sure that the enclosure is in compliance with SLA rules and regulations. In addition to that, their neighbors Common Ground at 65 Gansevoort Street are also supporting this event, which they're excited by and providing some access to their facility for members of the public to utilize during the event activity. As you can see on the site plan here, kind of the layout of Gansevoort Street, we're maintaining the 15-foot clear path as the center of the street as required for street events. We have that one drinking area in front of 67 Gansevoort Street, and it extends a little bit further per their SLA license that they're currently working to get. In addition to that, we have those other activities. As it relates to the event itself, it's pretty quick, one-day event. We will close the street at 8 a.m. to promote and provide for setup of all the activities that's taking place. 1 p.m., 2 p.m., between 1 and 2 p.m. is when everybody kind of does a final check-in. And then 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. is the kind of event live time. So that includes the live music being provided by L Train Brass Band. That's also the kickoff of the crawfish boil itself on site. And then throughout the day, it's largely passive programming until 7 p.m., at which point the event will break down. Trash will be collected and cleaned, and we anticipate by about 10 p.m., the street being made available to general traffic again. I'm happy to answer any questions or concerns you all might have.
Thanks, Evan. Sorry, go back to the timeline one more time. Sorry, you can ask the question.
Well, I don't know if it's a question for him, but isn't this the same day as the Bridgerton thing in Gansevoort Plaza?
Yes, that's correct.
So do you have concern about those two things happening right next to each other and potential?
No, we don't have any issue. We think it's gonna be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, the level of programming that's happening at this event is much lower versus Bridgerton.
Yeah.
So we think it's something that people will be able to enjoy in the neighborhood, which will be busy no matter what on a beautiful Friday or Saturday afternoon. And so we think it's not going to be too intense, and it's not a specific or large enough draw in the way that Bridgerton is to cause us concern.
Got it.
You have competing sound. Bridgerton has music too, right?
Yeah, so ours is all acoustic. It's just the live brass band. We're really excited by them. They bring a lot of good energy to the block. My understanding is that the Bridgerton sound is also quite contained. It's not a concert or anything like that. So they should exist in some level of alignment with each other. But we'll have to see how.
Brass overpowers the string quartet.
Well, the brass band is near. If it's near Crew, I don't know. I have to go back to the diagram. If it's
yeah,
near,
and at the end of the day, we
block.
are not going for an amplified sound permit, so we don't think that our the level of sound is going to be an issue for our event.
Yeah. Sorry, setup starts at street closes at 8. And so is this considered this is all a single SACO application? Because like I didn't see Crew with a separate one for their boil. This is just all under this application?
That's correct.
Okay. And how much do the tickets cost?
I'm not sure. I can look it up right now.
Okay. And were there sort of any is there anything different? I'm going back and looking at the last year's one.
Yeah, absolutely. So tickets looks like $80 is the ticket price posted online right now.
Wow. Okay.
$80 for what?
$80 crawfish.
Do you get beer and wine with it?
Sorry, what was that?
I was like, beer and wine separate? $80 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
What's $80 by you? That's what we want to know.
Yeah, curious.
That's curious.
What about that amount?
What does $80
Does it
buy you?
Do they give beer?
I believe it gives you access to the crawfish boil as well as beer and wine being served as part of that event.
How much revenue do they expect to get from this event?
I believe it's all for charitable donations to Memorial Sloan Kettering.
Sloan Kettering, Memorial Sloan
Yeah.
Kettering,
That's correct.
100%?
I assume they're all covering the cost of putting on this event as part of that, but it's not my understanding that there's any profit generated from this project.
880?
Zero.
Profit. You would think
81.88.
Wow.
that it's for a,
But for crawfish?
but it's for a nonprofit. You always pay more for something that's a nonprofit thing, you know?
I thought I was gonna go to this, but no, I'm not.
Well, again, so this is only one portion of the event, right? The event is open and to the public. Anyone can be there. There's live music that everybody can enjoy. There's going to be seating that everybody can utilize. There's going to be games that everybody can utilize. There's also free chicken that's going to be given away by Popeyes, as well as ice cream from Van Leeuwen.
I'll go for the chicken and
And
the.
alcohol will be served outside as well?
Yes, that's correct.
And how will you maintain the people in the area where the alcohol is going to be served?
They have a perimeter that they're establishing using French barricades, and then they're also having security on site to do the proper ID checks and ticket checks required by the SLA permit.
Can you tell us about the games? Where will that be occurring and what kind of games?
We have a bunch of sets of like cornhole and extra large Jenga. So we're going to put those out in the street, in the curb lane outside of the clear path. And people can enjoy those for the afternoon, and we'll pick them up and put them away at the end of the night.
Nice.
And that's open to the public, no charge.
That's correct.
So yeah, we actually recommended denial for this last year, because I think we thought they had not done enough planning, and we actually recommended that they coordinate better with you. So it does seem like they've done that this year, which is good. Because I remember last year they came and it did not seem well thought out. So have they already procured the temporary SLA license?
There's still some last issues with that, as right now SLA is saying that they require the SAPO permit in order to grant the SLA permit, and SAPO is saying they require the SLA permit to grant the SAPO permit. So I'm following up with that tomorrow morning.
Interesting.
Can you tell us about if there is going to be cooking outside, because it says liquid fuels will be used?
Yes, that's correct. They're using propane heaters to I guess steamers to cook the crawfish, and that's going to be located in front of 69 Gansevoort Street, outside.
What about any cooking inside the restaurants?
But that's where the crawfish cooking is taking place. Is in that setup in front of 69 Gansevoort Street, as demonstrated on the site plan.
So outside in the street?
Yeah, in this area here. Yeah, that's correct.
And so I know that the main event has no amplified sound, but there's going to be absolutely no amplified sound associated with the separate crawfish boil either. Is that right?
I don't believe so. You know, Common Grounds has a PA system as part of their, not outdoor dining, but from their business. And have open windows. So there may be sound that emanates from Common Ground, but we've established and set up kind of the framework, and again, you know, the guidelines of what you can and can't do. Right now, my understanding is that there's no anticipation for amplified sound. This was how we assumed it was going. I will confirm, but no one's mentioned that to me, and I don't plan on making that the case, as we've already identified the band that's going to play is acoustic and doesn't need those things. So I don't believe that's the case. Okay.
Yeah, because I know
If-
this applicant in the past, we've had trouble with them doing unlicensed events with amplified sound. So I just want to be absolutely
Well,
sure.
So to also make it clear, right, like the meatpacking district is the applicant for this.
Yeah.
And so we're the entity that's making sure that things are happening in an appropriate manner.
Okay.
Can you tell us how it went last year? How many people attended?
We weren't a part of that event last year, as William mentioned, so I'm not 100% sure. I know last year there was a significant rainfall that day and they almost got washed out, although I think they still went along with the event.
Okay. Is it, do we know if it's all you, I mean, hopefully it's not all you can drink for $80. I don't know. That's kind of scary to hear. $80.
Paper plates, paper napkins. And $80.
Yeah. Okay. Wish we. I wish we could ask for the crew team more questions, but I don't think they're not here, right? They didn't. No
I mean,
one.
if you have other questions, I'm here to answer them, and to make sure that you're satisfied with the responses as is the process.
Yeah, Kevin, what about the other places that are impacted or potential conflicts? The other restaurants, are they on board with this event?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, Common Ground is helping to facilitate the event. They're very excited by it. I believe at the end of the day, Pastis could care less about the event happening. They are very happy with their operation as it is. We've also, along with crew, have done outreach to other businesses along the block to make sure that they are aware of the event. And everyone was invited to participate. Some have decided to, others have declined.
Why did you guys decide to get involved this year?
We think that this is an exciting community event that brings a lot of energy and activity to a street in this district. Generally, we operate it as an open street. And so this is a street event, which is separate from the open street program. But we think it matches our desire to have an active and inviting block. And then, as was mentioned earlier by the chair of the committee, that it was actually a recommendation of the community board that they work with us to make sure this is put on and at the manner that you wanted, and that we also agree should happen. At the end of the day, if an event's happening on a meatpacking district street, it's better if we are part of that process than if we are not.
Okay.
Does the bid get money for when you're involved with that, more so than if you're not involved?
I'm not sure what I don't think I understand the question.
Okay, so they have to pay to put this event on, right?
They're
They have to
paying.
pay.
Sorry, again, I think they're paying for elements of this event. I don't think I can talk about all of the different expenses and expenditures that they're taking on from this event.
But the question, I think, is, if I can tag on to what Rocio was saying, doesn't the bid get a fee if the event occurs in your location anyway?
Bids get fees per the city process when there are commercial events that take place on public plazas.
So is it a substantial fee or not?
Sorry, what?
Substantial fee, or is it a small fee?
I really don't understand that, but again, this is taking place as a street event, and it's not on a DOT public plaza, so the rules here are not the same as they are on a public plaza.
It's not a plaza like a Gansevoort Plaza.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it, I got it.
Repeat.
See? I think that's what we asked. So you're saying, Evan, that since it's not a plaza event, there's no specific fee for the meatpacking bid as you would get for a plaza event? Is that what you were saying? To be clear?
That's correct. We receive a fee from commercial activations that take place on DOT public plazas as laid out by the Street Activity Permitting Office.
But not this.
Not
Let's
this.
see.
The city rules do not allow for fees on street events, but again, this is an event that the meatpacking district bid is putting on. So this is not, again, a commercial event being hosted by a third party in the meatpacking district. This is a bid event being put on by this organization.
Do you have any other questions? So it looks like the early bird is 81, but if it's tomorrow, it's going to be 103. Which is But it does say online, everything goes to Sloan Kettering, which is what Evan said. Okay. And how, sorry, can you say one more time how many tickets were being sold for this foil?
I believe my understanding is that it's about 300 is their goal.
Okay.
But I can always follow up and just confirm where they're at if you'd like to know. I can pass that along to you.
Sure, yeah, and if you could just confirm, I think more out of curiosity than anything, what people get for that ticket.
I mean, again, I believe it's as it's laid out here. Purchasing a ticket gets you access to all you can eat crawfish, fried chicken, beer, and natural wine. And you also receive 10% off any crew purchase made that day.
But is it like, do they get like a couple drinks or they can just keep getting beer for that whole time? Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, my understanding is that they will abide by the SLA regulations as it relates to an event like this.
Can you tell us what those regulations are?
I'm not fully aware of the regulations for that.
You don't know what they are?
Not off the top of my head, no. I'd have to read those again.
All right, so yeah, maybe you could go back and check and see I mean, we can try to look it up too. I'm not an SLA expert. I don't know if they allow all you can drink or not, if that's what you're getting at.
Donna here, this is.
Yeah, we don't have Donna here. She would be able to tell us. All right, maybe if you could just follow up on that, please, Evan, that would be helpful.
Okay, so I'll follow up on the ticket sales that they have right now, their expected total ticket sales, as well as their plan for alcohol. And I'll mention that there was a concern raised at the meeting tonight to make sure that no one is drinking in excess, which I don't think anybody is planning on making a habit of this event.
Okay, did you want to talk about, I don't see anything else on this one unless someone has anything. Did you want to talk about the other event that you had as well?
Yeah, so that event has actually been withdrawn, so we will not be raising it tonight. But I appreciate the accommodation on the request to.
Sure, of course.
Which one is that one?
So that's the June 6th to June 16th?
That's correct.
Okay. That one was labeled as MGMA Plaza Home. Okay. That's withdrawn. Thank you for that. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Evan. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you all very much. You have a good evening.
You too.
Good.
Bye.
Okay. Next up, we have the Sephora Main promotional event on May 17th. Oh, welcome.
3 dimensions. Wow.
Yeah, maybe you could.
No, please do.
That way people will be able to hear you. I'm the speaker.
My name's Chuck Garlick. I'm with Protection Security Services. And we're working with C Events, who are a California-based company that works for Man and Sephora. Man is the producer of the products that are being promoted. They have a new line of hair care products. They'll be distributed in Sephora stores. On the 17th of May, which is Friday, we'll be coming in at 8 o'clock in the morning, setting up on 14th Street at the curb line, coming out about 6 to 7 feet in towards the building line. There will be it'll look like an ice cream cart, but it's not serving ice cream. And there is a press wall, a promotional wall that'll be behind it along the curb line right at the street. They will be distributing a promotional product. It's going to be a hair beret. And the hair beret comes in a small package that has some prepackaged gummy bears. They have approximately 1,700 of these, and they will distribute them, and the event will end either at, and we've shortened the hours. It was originally intended to go till 8. It is now being shortened until 4 with an hour loadout from 4 to 5.
When does it start? You said 8 a.m.
It starts at 10 a.m. And if the product is distributed and ended by 12 or 2 or 2:30, which I hope it does, so I'd love to go home. And I don't have a far walk from home. I live across the street. So I have a vested interest in this. But they'll discontinue. And it's a very simple setup. There's no generators involved. on the sidewalk there is 23 feet. We'll be taking up about 6 to 7 feet of that. The rest of the sidewalk will be open. We have 4 of our special event security officers who will be there for not just line control, but also to make sure that pedestrians can pass without any interruption. We're going to have 10 sets of rope and stanchion that will line up in front of the stand and have, I'm not sure which side it will be. One side will be to come in, one to go out, and we'll have one of the security personnel right in front of it so no one stands directly in front. We've already spoken to the managers of Whole Foods and the building manager for the DSW building. We're scheduled to make a call this week actually to the Union Square Partnership to just give them a heads up on it. And I've also spoken to the, I don't know if you call them the fruit vendors who are normally out in front of DSW.
Yeah.
And to the food vendor who's there and to the incense vendor. And we've asked them to just move down a little bit so that if there's any congestion caused by people waiting in line for food or buy any of the products, it doesn't interfere with us and we won't interfere with them to maintain free passage. Let's see. Here, the event is not being promoted. There is no advanced publication of it, no advertising at all. It'll be word of mouth as people pass by. Let's see. There are no disposables, but there are brand ambassadors who will be there, and there's you should call it just a labor crew that'll be there at the end of the day to just make sure we leave it as cleaner than when we got there. We have not put in for any type of parking permits. There will be a small cargo van that's going to drop off the equipment at about 8 a.m. and they'll just pull into, I guess it's a pedestrian.
Yeah, I don't think they give out permits on 14.
But they're just going to pull in, drop off, and leave, and then they have commercial plates, and they're going to park it probably on 13th Street. All the supplies, all of the berets, and anything else they need will be kept in the store, so we don't have any movement on the sidewalk. And then between 8 and 10, we're going to use the rope and stanchions to just set up a secure perimeter so no pedestrians come by when the production assistants are putting things together. And the same will be redone at the end of the event. We'll extend the perimeter a little bit so when they take things out, it can be done safely.
All right, you're going to be right in front of the Sephora?
Directly in front will be on the along with the west building line of Sephora. So
yeah, okay, that's better. Okay, so I was going to say, okay.
Yeah, we're keeping it.
We don't want to have we don't want to cause congestion in front of the subway.
No, well, we have the 2 subway entrances there, so that's why we moved it over. Okay. And that's why I've asked the food vendors to move down about 10 feet. So their lines and our lines won't interfere with each other. Because there's always a line out in front of that food vendor, especially in the morning.
Yeah.
What exactly are you giving? 1,700 pieces, but no disposables?
There's no napkins.
Oh.
There's no coffee cups. There's no consumables. So there's really no need for that. Everything is prepackaged. It has the gummy bears in a little package, and the beret is probably about.
Okay.
So it's in a plastic package.
It's not really a plastic. It's some type of a recycled material.
Are there trash?
There are trash receptacles
That you're providing?
That we are providing.
Amazing.
Yeah. We're providing the trash receptacles, rope and stanchion, and the one thing that is not on the permit, and we will have it there because the weather looks like it may have some chance of rain that day. We have a 10-foot, but 2 10-foot by 10-foot pop-up tents that will cover just the event footprint and won't interfere with any of the pedestrian passage or into the curb lane. And those are not branded. The only branding that'll be done is the ice cream cart and the press wall behind it. And obviously the brand ambassadors and their outfits.
Okay. Did you look at all of the mini plaza that seems to be a popular place now on the corner of University?
Yes, that is really unusable because there are always anywhere from 50 to 75 scooters or bicycles that are constantly there.
Well, they're usually further down. Like I saw someone that successfully set up there last week. I'm just curious.
No, we did think about that. But when everyone saw the number of bikes there, and like I said, I live in the 70s 14. I pass it every day and it's just getting worse every day.
Yeah.
So it was a lot easier to put it there. Actually, to be quite honest, when we're giving things out at that corner, because just from personal experience, people aren't really aware that they're walking out into a street because it's the same color as that beige color. And we felt it was safer to put it on a sidewalk than there and have someone walk out into people making that right turn. Because they don't pay attention to that anyway. This is one event where I really know it well because I lived across the street for 32 years. So, and I don't want my neighbors to stop talking to me.
Okay. I don't, do you guys have any questions? Seems like you know what you're doing. So we're seeing more events on this block and it is a really crowded block, but Sapo seems to be okay with it, so.
I don't know, I walk by, I'm there almost every day. I've never seen a big problem,
Okay, that's good.
as long as they're further down.
Yeah.
Plus the scaffolding isn't there.
Yeah. I saw one in that mini plaza like a week or two ago, which actually I don't think came through us, or maybe it was one where the timing didn't work. And the line was extremely orderly though. Done this, so
Love to see it.
as long as people know what they're doing, it usually.
We've also, last week, that religious group's out there, the evangelical group that's out there almost every Friday. And that's part of the reason too that we're stopping at 4 o'clock. They usually get there around 4.
Okay.
And they set up about 10 to 15 displays and narrows down the sidewalk. So we figured we'd get out of there before they're there.
Good. All right, anyone have any other questions? There's no amplified sound, right?
No amplified sound.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming by.
And thanks for keeping our neighborhood safe and good. Been here my whole life, so
Oh, yeah, no, it's great. Nice to meet you.
thank you again. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, next is JBL Party Box with 2 locations. So we have 17th to now 19th on East Houston and 18th to 19th on Crosby.
Here's some amplified sound.
Hello.
Hi, welcome out.
Hey, my name is Alex Bourne. I'm with an experiential marketing company called Trigger House. We work with JBL primarily at their Soho location. Yes, so this permit is for a curb lane activation on Houston Street between Crosby and Broadway, and then a large event permit on May 18th on Crosby Street, primarily between Houston and Prince. Is there one you'd like me to start with?
So I mean, if you just go over the whole thing, I mean, it's all one single event, I guess. And are you just using is the curb lane for load in or load out, or is there activation in both of them?
There will be activation in both. So the, I guess, sequence of events will be a curb lane activation starting Friday, May 17th, going into May 18th, and kind of coinciding with the large event permit on Crosby, May 18th. May 19th, if that was on the initial submission, that's just going to be production parking now on Houston.
All right, so yeah, why don't we start with just the sequence of activities? So maybe start with the curb lanes.
Sure. Let me just share a quick diagram here. 1 second. I had Crosby pulled up. I thought that would be the one.
Thank you. Bye.
Good luck.
Sorry, bear with me here. Sorry, I might have to quit and reopen Zoom to allow me to share a screen. Do you mind if I do that, or would you like me just to circulate this via email?
You can email me if that's easier. It's just my first name dot last name William.Benish@gmail.
Cool. Let me, for the sake of everybody else, why don't I rejoin if that's not a burden?
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. 1 moment, thank you.
You should allow them to share, right? Mark? Everyone should be able to share, right? Yeah, other people have, other people have done it.
Yeah.
Like he needs like an update, you know, when
Oh,
we
yeah.
have that problem.
It was in books calculating
Mhm.
in Red Sauce Studio.
Can't wait. No,
Since it's with Rob.
oh, I guess so.
All right.
How about you?
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible.
That time.
How's it going? Is it gonna work?
Yep.
There we go.
Yay.
I
Heard that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So yes, for this activation, we've actually done this format on Houston a number of times, a couple times a year over the past couple years. What we'll do is we'll partition off the curb lane justified on the Crosby side. In this case, we will have as you can see here, a Toyota Tacoma that is branded JBL. We'll have some JBL branding in the footprint, as well as a consumer activation, this kind of skee ball game setup. This will go live on Friday at May 17th at 11 a.m. and cease at 6 p.m. Same with Saturday. We will have, I believe, 4 brand ambassadors in this space, 2 to 4 security, which is part of a larger security plan for the entire footprint, including Crosby Street, as well as production staff monitoring. Our plan is to build this out early Friday morning, probably around 6 a.m. It takes a couple hours to build, and strike directly after event ends at 6 p.m. on Saturday, May 18th. And then this will convert into production parking on Sunday for some vehicles that'll be storing assets that take up the space. The flow of this footprint, it's not being promoted as a public facing event or an event at all. The point of this is to encourage foot traffic to visit the footprint, play or engage with any of the elements, receive a voucher for a premium or a giveaway product, or like a sticker, sunglasses, drawstring bag type of giveaway inside the JBL store. So the entire point is to drive traffic inside the store and bring product awareness.
Okay.
There will be some amplified sound from this Tacoma, this truck inside the footprint that will be confined to activation hours. These are consumer level speakers that you're seeing, like Bluetooth portable speakers that will be connected to either a playlist or a live DJ. We've done this again a number of times and haven't had any issues with sound in this location.
Okay. Is there gonna be, do you expect a line for this like skee ball thing or what?
Yeah,
To
be transparent, we do. We'll have about 16 full stanchions with us for this setup alone. That one does draw attention, and that's why we have brand ambassadors on site to kind of manage that line, as well as security to keep the sidewalk clear.
Okay, so which way would the line run for that?
It would run it would basically run from the edge of that ramp that you can see back towards the truck.
So along
right in this diagram. Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
So it's gonna run west along Houston or east?
east.
East, yeah.
Okay. Will it wrap around the building?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't draw that much attention. And it does take a moment to kind of get through. So we find that people kind of lose interest if the line's too long.
So it's just people are gonna be lined up against the edge of the against the edge of the activation itself.
Essentially, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So you said you go live at 11 and at what time?
6 p.m.
Is the skee ball to win the voucher? Like, is it the better you do, the better gift you get?
Correct. Yeah. So there are three options or 3 targets on the game, and they correspond to different vouchers that are redeemable inside the store.
So everyone just gets one throw and then they get what they get and they move on.
Yeah, we scale it. So if we find we have a congestion, we'll reduce the amount of rolls, right? So I guess generally we start with 3, and if it gets wild, we'll cut it down to 1.
Got it.
People on. Yep. Yeah, any other questions on this one?
Isn't that building's residential, right? Above you?
I believe it's a WeWork space, actually.
Oh,
Sorry, there's a question in the chat. The ramp up your sound, so that's the skee ball game? That's what you're calling?
Yes. Yeah. Apologies for the specific term there, but yes, that's what we refer to as a skee ball game.
It's fully commercial, that's it. Okay,
Should we see the other parts?
yeah.
Yeah.
The other,
Turn the corner to Crosby. Let me just pull that up. Give me 1 second here. Okay, this is the larger one. Like I said, we're hoping to close down Crosby between Houston and Prince Street. This is definitely much more staff, so I'm going to kind of move down to a overhead view here. But the plan that we have as of right now for our run a show, we'll have bike rack barricades as our kind of cap to the footprint. And to maintain a fire lane, the 15-foot deep fire lane. We'll start building this around 5 a.m. on the 18th, with all elements being dropped off either late night on the 17th in our Houston Street footprint after that closes, or early in the morning, depending on when vendors can provide this to us. But yeah, essentially the plan is to have a performance area to highlight some local DJs, dancers, and we do have sort of a quote unquote headline appearance from Flaugé Johnson, who is a collegiate basketball player who also does music. The hours for this event, which will also include some consumer activations and a food truck, will be 2 to 6 p.m. So we're keeping it really tight and short, with the majority of the permit time being used for setup and breakdown. I'm sure there are plenty of questions, so let me know where you'd like to start.
is this one promoted?
No, we specifically are not promoting this. We know the dangers of doing that. So this is a surprise and delight event.
what was the name of the person, the celebrity?
Yeah, it's on my run a show here. If you can see it, Flaugé Johnson.
Okay.
She is a JBL ambassador, which is why she's part of this event.
Can you talk about how, I mean, obviously it's a speaker company, but how can you talk about sort of how loud the various amplified sound and performances are going to be?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the things that is in serious consideration with us is that we're directly across from a primarily glass building, where that stage and audio setup is. So we're gonna have to keep that really, really like low to not only like eliminate issues with our audio setup, but also not amplify sound. So we're very conscious of that. The speakers that you see represented here are primarily for branding purposes. So JBL, as an audio company, produces consumer products like headphones and portable speakers. They also have larger powered speakers for venues and you know, contractor use. So these will be sort of their small venue line speakers that will be primarily to check a box with a certain marketing team within that company. But we don't anticipate it's going to be very loud. It will definitely be audible, but we are very aware of the area that we're in.
Okay, and this ends at
6 p.m.
No, I mean, in terms of how far down the block it goes, it ends at Jersey Street, like the alleyway.
Most of our activation area is Jersey Street. Yeah, we're gonna have production vehicles parked going down towards Prince. But just to keep the footprint clean, we're kind of doing all the consumer facing or public facing activations elements between Houston and Jersey Additionally,
Like,
this
is
is,
that, I'm trying to just make sure I understand what I'm looking at. Is this map ending at Jersey or is it going all the? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, apologies.
And what are the 10 by 10 activations? Sorry if you already said that.
No, I haven't. So we have a number of branded kind of street games for JBL. One of these will be a like mini putt, mini golf custom game that we built. Another will be a Papa Shot basketball game that we're renting. And then this 10 by 10 activation on the south side next to the target loading area is not going to be there anymore. We're going to use that as a production area. And then the screen printing is a screen printing vendor that will be able to customize either products that people might purchase in the store or clothes that they have, or, you know, bags, towels, etc.
Is there any, I mean, I don't know this block very well, but is there any residential overlooking this block? It looks like there might be a little bit.
The people who live on Houston and Crosby and the Glass, it sounds like kind of a tough weekend for them. Between Friday with the truck that's not too far, and then a 5 a.m. load in, and then 6, maybe till 6.
I'm sorry?
Just sounds like a tough weekend for the people that live in this glass building on Crosby and Houston.
Yeah, I hear your concern there for sure. I would say that I'm not concerned about the truck, and on Houston that's going to be pretty quiet relatively. I mean, this is definitely the focus. The 18th on Crosby, so totally hear the concern there.
Have you done outreach to that building, and maybe there's a few others that are further down residential as well?
Yeah, and we're working with Winnick on that. We're working with Winnick Productions on that, to be transparent. So they're the ones helping with this permit. And they will be going around. We've already started outreach. They're going to be going around with kind of notices for businesses and residents of the block, just to let them know.
But that hasn't been done yet.
No, I mean, we've started that process, but it's just more the better.
I wonder how many people live in that building.
So do you have to do the load in at 5 a.m.?
That's the time that we think we need to get this ready for activation at 2 p.m. To be transparent with you, that's going to be like having, you know, activation elements delivered, right? So we're just going to be there to facilitate things coming into the footprint. I don't expect any tools or use of anything that's loud or disruptive at 5 a.m. If I go to our run a show here, primarily it's like getting barricades up, setting branding. You know, we'll set the stage, which is just staging elements. But yeah, I mean, I think noise will start to happen closer to 10-12 p.m.
Is there sorry, did you say is there any food or drink?
There is, yeah, there'll be a food truck. It's called No Good Burger. And that will be for purchase, not for giveaway.
Are both of these events also happening on Broadway?
What's that?
The Broadway location between Houston and Prince?
Yeah, there's a part of one of the applications is Broadway between East Houston and Prince for the curb lane.
Yeah, that would just be for production parking. To be transparent, we have a number of JBL kind of corporate employees in town for this weekend. So we are going to plan to park Sprinter vans and the like for transport of them. With that permit, there won't be any activation elements on Broadway.
Question. I think you mentioned hamburgers. Are you giving them away, or
they'll be for sale? Yeah, from a food truck vendor.
And will they be seating, or will they be standing, or how would that work?
We do not have seating as part of the footprint, so yeah, standing.
But you do have trash removal, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, we will have we'll have an empty, box truck to essentially take all activation elements out of this space. And that will be parked on Houston Sunday before we kind of depart this footprint completely.
Good, thank you.
What kind of security are you gonna have I know you mentioned security for the curb lane event. What about for the event?
Yeah, I have 12 marked security officers scheduled for this event, and then I have 4 dressed just for any sort of talent moves that we might have. You can see them called out on this map. It's not a final plan. I need to work with the security team a little more to get placement figured out, but I do have 16 bodies accounted for, and in addition to brand ambassadors and production staff.
Okay, and okay, so it's pretty substantial security. Okay.
And I'll work with I'm working with Sims Security, if you're familiar with them. We use them at like Grand Central before and stuff like that. They're one of my go-tos in the city.
Alex, how different is this event than the one that was presented last year?
I don't know that we presented this one last year. Primarily we've just done, this is actually my first time submitting for Crosby Street and a large event permit. Traditionally we do these on the Houston curb lane as a small event permit. So this is the first time.
I remember JBL came before us.
It's possible. It was
Well, there was a holiday event that was just curb lane and no amplified sound.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When was this submitted? So it's weird. It says this was submitted on the 27th of March, but it did not show up in my April, because normally we would have wanted to review this last month. It didn't show up.
Oh, interesting.
All right, I'll follow up with Sable on that. It says on the application it was submitted on the 27th, so for whatever reason, it didn't come across until this month, because we would have normally done this last month.
I was curious about that as well, actually. It seemed like
it didn't show up on the spreadsheet I got, so they'll have to follow up on our end on that, on the reasoning for that. Okay. Anyone else have anything?
There's no stanchions or anything for the street closure one, right?
We have a bike rack barricade that'll be branded. So that'll run both sides of Houston and Jersey in this diagram. And like I said, we'll have stanchions outside if needed for line management at any of these activations.
Pete has his hand right.
Yeah, Pete, go ahead.
There we go. Thank you. So just so you're clear, Alex, the new building, the glass building, that's fully commercial.
Yes.
Building on the northeast corner of Crosby and Jersey is residential above. And the building across Jersey on the east side of Crosby.
Okay.
All the way down the 6-story building, that's all residential above. So just so you're aware of that, the placement of the food truck looks like it might be kind of in front of the door of the entry into the residentially occupied building on the corner.
Yeah, so we've called that out and know exactly where that is on the I guess on the Crosby side, around Crosby.
Yeah, the east side of Crosby, northeast corner of.
Yeah, yep. So we're aware of where that is. We've called it out. This is a pretty close to scale drawing. That food truck can totally move. We know that needs to be accessible for any entrance or exit of residents that live in that building.
Okay, and is that a cooking food truck?
Yeah, they'll be preparing. It's like they serve burgers.
So it's gonna have a generator and venting and grease and that smell and all that stuff.
Correct.
Okay.
That's new.
You might tell that to the people when you talk to them.
Yeah, fair enough.
So basically everything on this block that you're asking for closure south of Jersey is purely for parking.
Correct. Yeah, just for our production vehicles. and again, more transport vehicles for the client team that we are catering to in this case.
I don't know when the last time is you looked at this block, but they've been replacing the vaults on the east side of Crosby, just south of Jersey, so.
Yep,
a lot of
I was
stuff is
just there
going
about a week ago. Yeah, I've seen it. I've been asking about that with our permitting partner
on.
as well. as
That won't
Applicant.
be done by the time this event happens, so.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, the one thing that complicates is that because there's no sidewalk, because the vault has been torn out, the walking space is in the street now.
Yep.
Okay.
So Pete, sorry, were you saying, that building on the corner, I guess it's 141 Crosby, that's all commercial?
141, the new glass building?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's all commercial. That's Microsoft up above.
okay.
And it's kind of too bad the downstairs, the ground floor retail has been empty for 5 years and
Yeah, we looked at renting that
Yeah.
out for this event. It was just too costly.
it'd be great to use it for things like this rather than, but.
Yeah, no, we looked at renting it out for this, but it was, considerably
I gotcha.
more expensive.
No, I'm sidetracking now.
Yeah.
And I'm just, I'm Broadway Residents Coalition. Have you been in touch with the Soho Broadway Initiative at all?
Yeah, actually, that was some directive we got after in our last the last meeting I was in like this. That was some directive we took away. So yeah, happy to reach out again.
Yeah, you might want to engage for coordination for some smoothness of running this, but anyway, good luck. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, according to the instructions that we get on the agency instructions, it says this event has been held previously. What was the difference again?
That's interesting. No, not the specific one. I mean, it's probably in reference to the Houston, the first presentation that I shared. We do that event or iterations of that relatively often, at least once or twice a year, the past couple of years. Traditionally around Black Friday weekend and in the summer around 4th of July weekend, and then we sprinkle in curb lane permits throughout the rest of the year. So I would imagine it's in relation to that in the past.
It's saying something called Soho Fest. Did you work on that?
Yeah, I did. That was, I believe, August of 2020.
2023.
Yep. So it was a similar elements and a smaller footprint. So on that house in curb lane, we had a small stage with similar speaker setup. We had consumer activations, prizing, giveaways, and local DJs.
But it was not a street closure. Yeah.
It was not a street
Okay,
closure.
okay, I mean, it's fine. We have the ability to review anyway, but okay. Any other questions? No, all right. Thanks a lot, Alex.
Yeah, thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right, next, do we have the PAL Festival? PAL Festival? Please raise your hand.
They don't show up. I remember last time they didn't show up.
No, okay, I don't, let me check the. Just see him raise now. Jamila Clark? Jamila Clark? No. Okay.
It's Mardi Gras.
Yeah, Mardi Gras. Okay. Do we have, well, I see.
Lunch the same place, the same day? That's how?
No, that's on East 14th, except not Broadway. Okay, do we have anyone here for new product launch?
So they're gonna do about PAL.
No one raised.
Broadway, it's on Broadway too.
Okay, we have someone raising their hand.
Here we go.
This for PAL or for new product launch? Guess we'll see. Can we promote Stephen?
Trying, here we go.
Yeah.
You guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yes,
We can.
Hey, how are you? This is for the new product launch.
okay.
Joe Giovanni also listen.
No, Joe's, I think Joe is for Pal, but he didn't raise his hand earlier. So let's do new product launch and we'll come back. So, yeah, sorry, Stephen, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. Actually, the SAPO site plan that we submitted now is actually wrong. And now we talked to the client today. We're gonna do it's actually everything is taking place inside the Capital One, which is located at 853 Broadway, the corner of 14th and Broadway, on the 18th. And SAPO has made it known to us that there's a street fair on Broadway that same day. So what we are wanting to do is production parking only, load in, load out on the 18th.
Okay. Where are you gonna do the production parking?
We've asked SAPO to help us do production parking on 14th between University Place and Broadway due to just moving it up. But they said SAPO will consider it and they'll get back to us.
Yeah, they usually don't allow that on 14th.
No, I understand that. She said we spoke to them and they said, well, take it into consideration. They'll have a meeting about it tomorrow or Wednesday and they'll get back to us.
Okay, but you're not doing anything outside other than parking?
No, nothing's outside. Everything's going inside the Capital One on 14th and Broadway.
Okay. All right, well, I'm curious what SAPO will say. We'll follow up with them, but good luck.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thanks. Okay, I think Joe's here for the PAL. Want to promote Joe?
Yeah. Well, we have a brief moment. May I congratulate Will, Amy, Brian, Michael, Ryder for being here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, round of applause for that.
I could even have.
We'd be screwed if all of you guys did.
Hey, Mark, did they fill all the empty spots?
Yeah, 10 empty.
Yes, that's it. There are 6 new people.
Okay, good.
All right, yeah, we can catch up on that. All right.
Okay.
Joe, are you there? Can we try promoting him again?
Nope. But I did. You might want to tell me yes to click on the little button. So,
He's not muted.
He's declined to be promoted.
Huh.
all right, well, let's let him talk then.
Well, now, why would they do that? I bet he didn't know what he was pressing.
Well, if he doesn't do that, then he can't share his screen. That's the
Right.
thing.
Now he's muted.
Hello?
Hi, Joe.
Hi, how are you? Sorry
Good.
about that.
No problem.
I'm actually coordinating between 3 different community boards tonight, so sorry about the delay.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, so can you just talk a little bit about the PAL Festival?
Sure.
Yeah.
This is I believe it's the 27th annual Police Athletic League street fair. It's on Broadway between Houston and 8th Street. Actually, it really goes to Waverly, but we don't go down that far. The event takes place, and you know that they're located right there on 10th Street, between University and Houston. That's the executive offices of the Police Athletic League for the city. And as I said, this has been going on for 27 years. It's been on Broadway now for, I believe, the last 6 years or so. And it was moved from University Place at your request, meaning the community board's request, because there was much more of an impact to all of the residents that where it used to be held on University Place, as opposed to mostly commercial that's on Broadway. The event takes place from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. It's a typical street fair with arts and crafts and jewelry and general merchandise and foods. The Police Athletic League does set up several booths where they promote the Police Athletic League, and they also sell some memorabilia, T-shirts, caps, and things of that nature, and solicit for additional youth to participate in their various games and projects in the city.
Okay. I don't have any questions. I mean, I think
We requested that you change it from University Place because there were too many events there. But I don't know if we ever told you to go to Broadway because we have opposed, at least I know I have, and some of my fellow board members have opposed closing Broadway down because it's such a disruption to the traffic in the area.
I was not involved in that, but I know that it was at least 6 or 7 years ago. These were discussions between the Street Activity Permit Office and your board, and several of the events that were formerly on University Place were moved to Broadway.
that was before I joined. So can't comment.
So of the money that is raised, because you're going to have various vendors, how much money goes to the Police Athletic Association?
Well, we pay all the expenses to host the event, and the Police Athletic League gets 50% of the net, but we guarantee them a minimum of $5,000.
Is that just like standard for how all of your productions typically work?
For the most part, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the size, there is various different, obviously, guarantees because of the size of the events.
Okay. All right, that's all. I don't have anything else.
What were the streets again? Because this is Broadway between East 14th and Waverly.
You said between House, it's only gonna be between House and 8th. It's not going up to 14th?
Yeah. No, between it's on Broadway between 14th and Waverly, but it's only gonna go to 8th.
14th to 8th, okay. Got it. So 6 blocks, okay. Anyone else? Any questions? We know what this one looks like. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry for the.
Appreciate it. No worries at all.
Okay.
Thanks for joining. All right. Next we have the STOD product launch. Let me check. Do we have a Kristen Burtis? This might have been one of the no replies.
Yeah.
Anyone from STOD going once? STAUD. STOD. So just look at that one.
Front of their store.
Very little detail other than a canopy, 9-foot high canopy. Okay. All right. Sorry, let me note that's no show. Okay, we have the hovercraft. This one sounds very interesting. Yes.
Romobile. Romobile.
Yeah.
I got all the right terminology there.
We have Antoinetta.
At least we're getting pizza instead of ice cream.
Yeah.
We have all of the foods we need. We can send some over there now. Give me about half hour. No, I don't.
Sorry, hi, I missed that. Sorry, hi, how's it going?
Hi, everyone. I know the blur is on, but I also have my colleague Antoinette with me here. My name is Giovanni. That's Antoinette. Good to see everybody again. So the hovercraft event is for Coinbase, which is a popular digital wallet. And we've requested this event to be on Washington Square North between Fifth and McDougal, taking up the north curb lane. I'm going to share the screen here. Share that screen with the footprint. We'll pull that up and then walk through the details for you. Okay. All right, can everybody confirm they can see the screen?
Yeah.
Great. So in the curb lane, we currently have a food truck and most of the activation park there. We have a 13-foot sidewalk there as per our survey. So we wanted to make sure, one, that we take up 6 feet of sidewalk with just the stanchions that are on there. And that leaves 7 feet for like the clean egress for people to walk through and have a minimal impact. In the curb lane, in the curb lane, we also have trench style barricades to make sure that everything is safe there, which will be branded there as well. There are 6 highboy tables set up. And also all the way to the left, what you see there is a photo booth essentially, where people can actually walk in and 1 to 2 people at a time can sit in that photo booth and grab a picture. The entire experience in the photo booth as a whole is about a 60-second experience. Going back to the food truck portion, the food truck will actually be giving away free pizza slices. And then just in front of the food truck, you have a QR code rigged machine that's in like the box of an ATM machine. And then when you scan that QR code, it actually takes you to a link where you can download the Coinbase wallet app. Once you download that app, that's basically your currency to go up and say, hey, I need a free slice of pizza. And then we also have some random giveaways. If somebody posts something, then you're able to get like merch, or we'll be giving away a limited number. I believe it's 50 t-shirts and 50 hats as well, which will be on the display that's actually installed on the food truck so as to not take up any sidewalk space. One thing that may be a little confusing about this is you see like an awning that's looks like it's on the sidewalk. That's literally just the actual food truck awning being open. There's nothing that's actually on the sidewalk there, so you can fully walk beneath that. Yeah, that's basically the gist of it. What the time that we've requested on the application is a 5 a.m. load-in. That 5 a.m. load-in is just to make sure we get that spot because I know it can get busy there. So your production vehicles, which is 2 of them, will pull up in there. Those vehicles essentially carry the photo booth, stanchions, the tables, and the QR code screens that are set up in front of the truck. Unloading of those vehicles will begin around 7 a.m. And the activation goes from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. At 5 p.m. we'll have a breakdown, should be about an hour and a half or max 2 hours. And then the cleaning crew comes in, sweeps everything up, makes sure nothing's left on the sidewalk. There's a cleaning crew of 3 that comes in at the end as per all of our activations. It's able to clean up once everything is done. As far as consumables go, all the consumables, as with anything we do regarding packaging, is either all recycled or compostable. And then we'll also have the appropriate cans there for that, just to make sure everyone deposits it there. All that leaves in the production vehicles and goes right to our dumpsters at our facility. We currently have no amplified sound for this. There are generators there. There's an onboard truck generator that actually sits on the street side. And that's a 6,500 watt Honda EU. So those do run on the eco throttle, meaning that the decibel level above those, I believe, never gets above 55 or 60 watts on those. And then in front of the truck, there's a small Honda 3000 watt EU that runs similarly with the eco throttle that it only kind of pulls when needed. And then that's also turned out towards the street. More details there. Yeah, I think that's all I have. If you guys want, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. As far as staff goes, we also have 6 brand ambassadors that are going to be there. We're going to have 2 of them by the queue, just to make sure that everybody knows kind of where the entrance is and how to flow through it. We're going to have 2 of them closer to the photo booth and in the dining area. So one is going to be closer to the photo booth station there, just to kind of run through smooth operations. And then the other serves as like a brand ambassador / hey, let me help you clean up your trash, because when someone's eating a piece of pizza at those tables, inevitably they're going to leave trash there. So we kind of have that brand ambassador and a little bit of pickup duty as well, making sure that everything stays clean. And then the other 2 are going to be between the food truck and then also showing people how to use the screens for that QR code in case there's any questions there, to make sure it kind of flows smoothly there. The lines are ADA accessible too. We have them spread out to be 3 feet. So if anyone with a wheelchair does come over, they can even navigate the turn and then kind of flow right through into the activation space. A couple of things we wanted to be mindful of. We are approximately from the trench barricades 37 feet from the corner, which will end up being probably 40. And I say there's a little discrepancy there just because we want to move it up to make sure we get enough space from A, the hydrant, and also B, leave plenty of space from the planter that you see there. So nothing interrupts there, so probably be closer to 40. And yeah, I think that's it, what I have for right now.
A quick question, I lost one thought. What are we promoting? The app?
Yeah.
Or just the app, nothing else?
Yeah, the app. So we want that, the idea of
The app is free.
yes, the app is free. So we just want people to download the Coinbase digital wallet.
But it can be downloaded elsewhere, right? Not just here.
Yes.
You can download it from your home, from anywhere you have a cell phone, wherever you want to download it, you can download it. We just have the QR codes there to make it easy, and it's kind of the hook of like, hey, while you're coming here, if you download it, you get a free piece of pizza today.
Great, thank you. Good.
What's the hovercraft part?
Hovercraft is applied, they're the creative agency behind it, so they're responsible for all the design work, they're responsible for kind of the thought behind the activation. Fortunately for us, they're not operators or executors, and that's where we come in and bring it to life in this.
There's no
I
hovercraft.
was hoping there would be an actual hovercraft.
Right.
I can't imagine what this discussion would look like if a hovercraft was on the permit application, so for now, I'm kind of glad there's not.
PayPal charges a larger fee for hovercraft.
Are we sure this is not a no standing zone?
Yeah, we've checked it with SAPO and we also had a site visit, so. Definitely.
Yeah,
What's
I'm
that?
looking at an old thing, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but by the hydrant, obviously, there's no standing, but we're leaving the proper space there too, so.
Yeah.
We're gonna be mindful of that.
Yeah. No, I think when there was construction, it was a no standing, but it's obviously
Wasn't that long ago, yeah.
gets changed. Yeah. Okay.
No.
And where's the pizza from?
Bleecker Street Pizza.
What's it called?
What?
It's from Bleecker Street Pizza.
Oh,
Great.
Local, good.
We'll be right over.
yeah.
And ice cream later.
Bigger one.
Have you done any outreach to the residents that live right above there, that building on the corner?
We have not, but we're waiting for the SAPO permit to get finalized, so I do think that would be a good idea. We can follow up. I think just put together like a basic, like one pager of communication of, hey, here's what's going on. And, you know, also if there's any issues, here's who to contact. We'll have one of our on-site project managers there as well. So they'll be able to triage any concerns there too. And activations, I'm sure someone will come outside and we're happy to speak to them and go through everything politely with them.
Yeah, great.
Building.
How much pizza are you gonna be distributing?
We currently have 250 slices ready to go. I think, you know, because of the download, it slows things down. I mean, ideally, I would like about 500 to 600 slices. But in reality, when someone has to download something, you generally more the slice of pizza to get anything more than 60 seconds of someone's time. So we have an extra 50 slices in case it gets busy. And if it does get a little busier than that, you know, we time permitting, because we do need to end by 5 p.m. Time permitting, we would have like teed up an extra 50 to 75 more. But I don't foresee that happening.
Okay. Do we have any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. Great day.
Appreciate both of you joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let down. No actual hovercraft.
Interested that Coinbase is slinging pizza to get people to download their app.
All right.
What time the Christmas?
I think it was withdrawn, but is there anyone from the Italian American Emporium and Red Sauce Studio?
That's actually just the creative agency's name. They're actually giving away hovercrafts.
Yeah, and in response to Pete's question, I think that's Google Street View is from construction, but I'm gonna check when I walk on, it's on my way home. So, all right, no Italian American Emporium. Okay, do we have Stonewall Rebellion? Do we have anyone from the Stonewall Rebellion? I don't think so.
Isn't that a repeat from last year? Didn't we turn it down?
It's been repeated for 20 years,
And we recommended.
22 years.
All right, let's move on. So MDMA with plaza holders withdrawn. So, okay, do we have anyone from the City of School Barbecue, June 7th?
Maybe in the future, we should go backwards as to incentivize people to come.
That's not a bad.
The more space you give us, the more time.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
It's a good idea. Yeah, it's also more relevant to hear people.
Hi.
Hi, good evening. Can you see and hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Sure.
My name is Rachel Sayre, and I'm the principal at City of School High School on Clarkson Street. My colleague Naima put in an application to close Clarkson Street for part of the day on for our school barbecue. So I'm here to represent the school and request the street closure for that day. I've never done this before, so I'm not totally sure what I have to do. I'm not a paid vendor. I'm here requesting time in the street for our school barbecue.
Okay, no, I mean, typically what the main things we just ask are like, what, if you have an estimate of what the hours you're gonna have the street closed for, if there's gonna be any amplified sound, food or drink, those are kind of the standard things we like to hear about.
Okay, so the barbecue is at 1 p.m. on Friday, June 7th. We'd like to close Clarkson Street starting at noon so that we can set up tables in the street. We're anticipating that the eating at the tables will end by 3 p.m. and that we could then break down and clean up. We'll have our custodial staff and of course our teachers will be there. So the area will be supervised and we'll have a method of trash collection along the way. There will be amplified sound, but that's going to be coming from the courtyard of our school. So that will happen regardless. The front courtyard of the school on Clarkson Street is the home base for the school barbecue. So all of the cooking will take place there. That's where the food distribution will take place. And then part of the courtyard will be set up as a stage, and our students will be playing music as part of our music, art, and design program. So all of that will be happening regardless in the courtyard, and what we're hoping for is a street to set up for eating.
Okay, got it. So all of that's happening off the street. Basically, it's just gonna be tables set up in the street for eating.
Correct.
Okay. And you said you're gonna end by 3 p.m. to break down and clean up.
By 4, yeah.
And this is only for the students, no problem.
I mean, you're welcome to stop by. We will have guests stopping by, but in terms of entering the school courtyard, that is only City School students and staff, yeah.
Would there be a charge for the students for this?
No, it's part of our, it's an event that's part of our school program. And we have a partnership with New York Edge. They run our Beacon program. So they pay for the food. They pay for most of the food. And their staff helps with the cooking in addition to, our staff and their staff run the event.
Cool.
You expect to take the whole street from?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't think we would go past Squarespace. I don't anticipate closing the street all the way up to like Shake Shack, for example, because that would be too much to supervise. So we would close the street from Hudson so that cars couldn't turn, probably to just past the school grounds, so that it can be supervised without, sprawling too much.
And this is a Saturday or Sunday?
Friday.
Friday.
End of the school week.
Mm-hmm.
Does that street often get a lot of tunnel traffic on Friday?
It does get traffic on Fridays. And I know that that's
like probably of all the concerns, I would say I could imagine that being the biggest concern. My hope is that by having the breakdown done by 4, traffic will still be able to pass through. In all honesty, the traffic does start earlier than that because you hear the horns beeping on Fridays from our school building. But by 4 p.m., we'll be out of the space.
Okay, cool. Any other questions? No? Okay.
Yes, Edma. Yes.
Hi.
May I ask you, you have this barbecue. What's you are trying to achieve through barbecue party to achieve for your school? Do you have in mind?
Yeah, the barbecue we have every year. And typically during the school day before that is our end of year celebration of learning. And the young people exhibit their work in the school during the school day so that we can see their work and celebrate it with them. And, one of the goals is for them to take pride in their work. And then the barbecue is a celebration of that happens at the end of the school day towards the end of the school year. Our parents are always invited to come and often our parent association will be part of coordinating the event. They'll like bring desserts or something like that. So it's an opportunity to celebrate our students and the work and learning that they've done all year. And the barbecue is a way to kind of like the cherry on the sundae of the day in the school.
Yes. Have you thought about using the barbecue party as a public relation for demonstrate the achievement of the high school as a kind of attraction for parents to see, to judge your school as a good school? I like to let my children or brother or sister to come to your high school. And do you have to prepare a flyer?
We don't, I mean, I love that idea of inviting the broader community into the school for that day. We don't have a flyer prepared. And in all honesty, I think like part of it is we want to invite people into the school and we also need to make sure that it's safe. So like I could imagine inviting families and guests who sign up ahead of time, for example, like on a Google form. I also think it would be hard to have it as like a fully open event because of the safety procedures around schools with, like visitors signing in and just making sure that we can anticipate how many people would be coming in terms of, supervising or like kind of coordinating the number of people in the school. But I really like that idea. And I can definitely bring it to the committee that's organizing this to think about how we could do something like that in a way that's manageable.
Okay, my last question. Do you get involved, the school PTA? Is any PTA members join this, coordinate with you or pitching work?
Yes, the parent association, they name themselves the parent association and they're definitely involved and will be there. Parents are invited to come and, we'll definitely have parents and family members there.
Okay. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Oh, all right, thanks a lot. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions as you're going through the SAPO process.
Okay, thank you. Do we just wait to hear from you now?
Well, we'll send a recommendation to SAPO and then they should relay it to you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Okay. Last, I think, of the night is Morton Block Party. Yes, correct. 2 people under current. Hello.
Hello,
Hi, how are you? Thanks for joining.
Corinne, you're muted, hun. Unmute. Hi, my name is
Corinne.
I'm Lily. I am PTA co-president with Corinne at MS 297. I am a 7th grade parent to twins, and she is an 8th grade parent, about to graduate out. And we are here. I guess you go first, or I go first? I'm second. Sorry.
What, yeah, we're doing our first block party, and kind of like the principal from the other school, we're figuring this out as we go. This is Lily's vision, so that's why I'm glad that she's able to join, even though she's in the middle of like picking up her kids from ballet.
Don't mind the New York noise. Yeah, I did a block party for PS51 before I graduated out, and it was a very successful event, and I wanted to bring that tradition and hopefully continue it there too. So the vision is to do a block party, not only to celebrate the school's achievements and the kids, but also to incorporate the community and really advertise our District 2 middle school, which is still a fairly new school, and hopefully entice parents to take a look, to consider it as a good school to send their kids, and really showcase what we have. So the vision is to have some student performances. So we plan to have like a little stage. We'll have our cheerleaders that just won their championship, do a little routine, some talent show, performances from maybe our drama students who are doing a high school musical junior performance. They'll do a clip from that, maybe some chorus, maybe some instruments. We're still working out the logistics in terms of student talent, as well as have activities for the kids to enjoy, bouncy obstacle course. If we can make it work with the measurements, I still have to go over all of that with facilities on the block, and just make sure everything's up to code. And I know we have to have a certain amount of distance for safety. It's like 15 feet from what I remember from doing the block party from the permit. We've also already spoken to Anthony Smith regarding the noise permit, so we're waiting on that, because we will be playing some music for the kids, and then just like snacks for them to enjoy. The event is from 12 to 4, so short and sweet. The permit begins, I believe, 8 a.m., Corinne. So we have the permit starting at 8 a.m. just to allow for enough time for setup and drop off. I think the balloon bouncy house people alone need 2 hours, just to allow for setup and then rehearsals, maybe with the kids. And then 4 o'clock it's done, clean up, and we're out. Admin will be involved. We'll have parent volunteers. So it should be hopefully a well-attended event, not only by our school, but the community as well, since it's never been done before.
Cool. Okay. So it seems pretty straightforward. So stage, student performances, inflatable obstacle course, students and community members coming through, some amplified sound you said as well.
Yes.
And so you're gonna have snacks? Are you planning on doing any kind of cooking or like more substantial food or drink, or you're gonna keep it to that?
We're gonna keep it as simple as possible, at least this time around, because it is the first time. So we wanna be logistically sound before we take on too much. And then we can grow from there as a community if it's something that, works out. We'd also like to extend to have participation from other community organizations like yourselves, like if you guys want to have like some info table or some info brochures to tell the neighborhood, hey, this does exist, we're here for you. We'll invite some potential community leaders, so we'll get that list going as far as like people to invite from the district, like that we partner up with, Superintendent Kelly, CEC members, and other aspects of the community. So we're hoping to bring in as many faces as possible and just really showcase the middle school. It's brand new. Like we should have our building packed with kids. Like, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be inviting PS3, which is around the corner,
yes,
and PS41, the elementary schools,
as well as our sister school that's in the building.
Yeah, we have a D75 school in our building as well.
Mm-hmm.
And have you flagged this to the folks at Hudson Clearwater at all?
We're still working on our flyers, so once we do, we will talk to them about it.
Okay. Assuming it
Yeah, we'll
wouldn't,
make
it's
sure that we
not-
don't want to, cause a disruption with their business. Because they are
Yeah,
very busy on
it's not-
Saturdays.
But yeah, exactly. I'm sure if it's a nice day, all the outdoor tables will be full and whatnot.
Yeah,
Um,
we're hoping to keep it more in front of our school building.
Yeah.
okay. Cool.
Well, we do have a luxury condo across the street. So you'll be, I don't know what you can do to satisfy them.
Well, they do have, we do see kids coming in and out, so maybe we'll have to give them some ice cream. I don't know. We'll definitely talk to them for sure. We want their kids to come to our school, so we'll see.
Sounds good. Okay. Anyone else? All right. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you for all your work. You guys have a long, long job ahead of you.
Thank you so much.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Have a great night. Bye-bye. Okay, and then I think that's it. Claren Wasim wedding was withdrawn, which I was really curious about that one.
You're not drawing the wedding?
The event. Somehow.
Which one?
The way.
The wedding. All right. So. Let's go. Moonlight Studios. The wedding has been withdrawn. So, okay.
Did they get divorced?
So let's start with the Moonlight Studio. To me, that's basically a production event. Do we have any issues there?
No.
All in favor of approval?
Aye.
Any opposed, abstain? Okay. By the way, we can take Mark, we can take Julian off this list, right? Yeah. Okay, we can take him off. He's off. We actually have we have complete committee attendance today. Julian, yeah, everyone is here from our committee.
Along with like this, are we allowed to do this like we used to do the omnibus vote, where you have people call out if they have any issues?
We could, but I think we go through it fast.
Okay.
I don't know. We can think about it, but.
We'll like someone.
It would save like. I don't think it would save. I like to give people the chance to think about each one. Okay, Universal Music. Seems like a standard.
Another Broadway one, no?
Truck, yeah, any issues with that one?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Same, okay. J. Crew, that's a no-show deny with the notes that we had from Pete. So all in favor of the deny, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, okay. I mean, Crew, we had issues with them in the past, but I think it's better that they're working with the Meatpacking Association. I would have liked to get more info, but
Why are they so cagey about it?
I think it's pretty clear that the Plaza event, they definitely get a fee, but this is not a sponsored Plaza event with a Plaza partner, so.
Maybe he was offended that we implied we're sponsoring it only for their own financial reward.
So, I mean, this is only 5 days away in any case, so. I think we should, I think we just approve and we see how the event goes. I think I have good.
I really like to know how much money they're gonna get.
Drinking, just say, we want to make sure that there's not unlimited drinking. I doubt SAPA would issue a permit.
Rage and out of the area,
So we have you approved with notes about the alcohol.
confined area,
Yes.
Yes.
and to make sure that they give the money to MSK.
Yeah, which it does say on the ticket that.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain? Okay. Oh, yeah, and I can't believe it's gonna be, after today, it's gonna be $100 ticket.
Gonna be good crawfish.
Just pay them for crops. I'll go buy crops and cook it myself.
Wait, it's for a non.
Yeah, it's a donate.
Oh, I know.
I bet.
It's for a great cause. It's for a fantastic cause. Okay, and I want to follow up with some of this, how we're getting the events with SABO, because some of the large events, says they were filed earlier, showing from the I'm getting. So we need to, Mark, maybe, can you make a note of that? So I noticed a couple of the large events, like street event large, which have to be filed, I think 45 or 60 days in advance. I have to double check. They're saying on the application that they're being filed in time, but then I'm not seeing them on the spreadsheet that Florence compiles.
Right.
So I don't know if that's a technical issue in the SAPO system, so we should just check on that.
Particular one you want to call?
Well, so the one, I didn't actually check on the crew. I didn't check on the crew. I can look, but specifically on the Crosby Street one, which was submitted in like late March. We should have seen that in time for the April event. So we should just double check on that. Make sure stuff's coming in time. Same with the crew, when that one was. Oh, that's okay. They have that as a medium, so never mind. It's not. Okay.
But the larger question is, why aren't these things on?
Well, like just the Crosby one, we should double check, because I just didn't see that in my spreadsheet when I got it for the April meeting, and it was filed in March supposedly. Anyway, okay. So Sephora Maine, I think are we all okay with that one? That one, they seem pretty well prepared.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain? Okay.
Although I think they're giving out barrettes, not berets.
Yeah. A beret this big, I think for a Barbie. How many Barbie? A Barbie beret.
I think you just.
Yeah, let's try to.
Was over pronouncing beret, or over interpreting the Frenchness of beret.
Okay, so I think for this one, the main, so that the last one we were worried about was not residential, but the main one is that one on the corner of Jersey. So I think we just note that they need to do outreach to that building, and as well as the whole Broadway initiative as well, which I think they've already started. We okay with that?
Okay.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain? Okay,
Resident outreach.
yeah, resident outreach and Soho Broadway initiative, okay. All right, Powell, I mean,
Fine.
Yeah, standard.
I live right where this happens every year. It's
I think it's fine. I know we talk about Broadway, but I'm okay with that. I don't know how you want to go differently, but I'm just okay with it.
It doesn't seem like it helps to
Yeah,
object.
Well, it's a densely populated area where a lot of people want to have fairs. I mean, it's just part of living.
yeah,
It's part of the city, and I live right there. It's right outside my front door.
Better than just cars passing through.
all right, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain? Reluctantly in favor?
Only because I know it's a good organization.
There had
The building is falling down,
for 30 years. I don't know. I can't believe that's the executive headquarters.
yeah.
They need the
Okay.
money.
New product launch, I don't even know what to do with this one, 'cause it's not even really an event anymore. I guess can we just say approve contingent on, I don't know if Staples actually gonna approve.
Sounds like more of a secret.
Just not have a resolution.
What was the problem?
We all recuse.
He didn't tell us. We didn't ask.
It's not.
It's a Capital One.
They're not doing anything, they're just asking to park, if Staples will let them park something on.
Also, why don't you say that,
Maybe we just say should we just have no reso on it?
reso, because it doesn't appear to be enough.
That event has moved inside, yeah.
Good.
Okay. Stod, show, you deny, all in favor?
Aye.
Those abstain. Okay. Hovercraft, which is not actually a hovercraft. Are we all okay with that one?
Yes.
Yes.
Except we object that they didn't bring it.
I'll double check the signs. You said the signs have changed, right? So the 2019 was scanning, but I think it was just for the construction. But I'll double check the signs on my walk back.
Okay.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Abstain, okay. Italian American withdrawn.
Does that know what this was?
I don't know, it sounded kind of cool.
I know, I wanted to find out more.
Stonewall Village, no show.
He did show last year, but not.
Yeah, I think he's
Getting tired of it.
all right.
Money to receive.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, right?
In favor of deny.
Deny. Okay, plaza hold was withdrawn. So a lot, city of school, I think,
It's okay.
I'm not worried about the traffic, so
No.
anyone, I'm in favor,
No,
yeah,
because they close it, they
yeah.
close it by 3
All right, all in
o'clock.
favor?
Aye.
Abstain, okay. And then block party, I think we're fine with that, right?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain, okay.
Wow.
Love with the JBL one. I feel like it's giving Malbon. It's what?
I think they'll,
Malbon.
I think they'll be a little more productive. I think. We'll see. Okay. What do we think about, I think for all the food truck, we should just write a standard set of questions. I don't know what other people think,
Yes.
just like that we can send out ahead of time and just say. Food truck, like, where, what exact address will you park at?
Mhm.
What are you planning on giving out? How many people do you have secured?
Yeah.
That's the same sort of questions.
Garbage can.
Well, didn't we do a rubric once of the kind of questions? The rubric was a plaza.
How many positives?
Yeah.
I think
good
we
idea.
have to add, what, brick and mortar stores will be negatively impacted, or
But I mean,
will be impacted by.
I don't think we even need a resolution for it, because it's just helping them prepare for the same question.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we want to know who's around.
I'm saying, I think we can just agree to do that right without a resolution, because we're just sending them ahead of time, like the same questions we always ask in person, so it just help
They
them.
need to hold it form.
Just help it move.
Let's call it a form. The form.
Just to say, here's the main questions
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Please be prepared to talk about each of these, and
Yeah.
then it just speeds things up.
Like I
Great.
said, like the form.
And I do think we should do reverse order next time.
Reverse order.
That'll be fun.
Start with the ones farthest away where we actually have the most impact, because they're not happening. In
That's
2
actually a good
days.
idea. Yeah.
Erica's idea.
We have the power to do that, yeah. We can do that.
Can we just reward people?
It's an incentive
fine.
to come to get your application. in, right?
Yeah.
The only thing is, if it's too far ahead, then you're gonna have to. The sweet spot's like a month and a half out.
But we can't get it until they have enough
Yeah.
details to get through
Yeah.
to us. And so
Yeah.
Do we ever present to the full board like our learnings from the SAPO conversation? About how
Not really. Yeah.
are we going to do that?
Well, what I wanted to do was I wanted to have a meeting at some point, which is, well, we should talk about that. I wanted to have a meeting that was like more of a follow-up on that.
Mhm.
Where we would have an open forum for like community, because we didn't really have a chance for like a public session, so we could review again in that. And anyone from the board, the public could attend, like what our learnings were, and then we could actually hear from different people as to like.
Yeah.
We can debate and hear from people as to like, what if any, our next steps should officially be following that.
Yeah, I mean, we are approaching resolutions differently. Like, we used to really think about community benefit and local time, and I think we now know that that's not really relevant to the process. And I wonder if we should just share that with.
What I really wanted the outcome to be, and why I think we need to have it as an official meeting, is we can adopt. Like, right now, we say, okay, we can have a set of guidelines, right, that we give food trucks when they come in, but we can adopt something that's even more like.
Standard.
As in like, if it meets this, and this, then we will approve.
Yeah.
And then we don't even have to hear it. We can just send that to SAPO and just say, here's what you need to make sure.
Yeah, this is our
And then
step.
that actually makes it even more efficient.
Would you do this as part of a regular committee
I
meeting?
don't know, Will, I think it's good for people to come and.
Engage with us.
Engage with us because it shows that we matter, we care.
Yeah, well, we can have
So
some
if
people engage,
we
but
just give them, it's okay, and then
we can have people engage, but then maybe we can still adopt an official line on everything we like to see in certain types of events. And then they'll still come, and then we can just immediately say, well, here's our guidelines that are public. Can you talk about whether your event meets those guidelines?
Yes, if you do, yeah, if you have instructions, if you have a document that has instructions and then a form.
I think it's helpful for the people having events to hear from us. We have local expertise. I think it's really more about like elucidating to the rest of the board how our approach to resolutions has changed. But I mean, no one has seemed to ask us about it, so maybe they don't care.
But I mean, that's a good point. People on our board are not aware of the changes.
Right.
Since, and over the past 5 years, and we've done a lot.
The executive committee, after that meeting, you did present.
Yeah, we talked about it, but I do want to put something more formal together.
Okay, yeah.
I think we should. I think we should have another sort of hearing on it. Because we need to expand beyond, like, we need to develop like thoughts on it rather than just, here's what we heard.
Yeah.
And so I think that requires it as like an actual.
And we want to make sure the board members don't glaze over when you give your very thorough. We want them to pay attention.
Well.
But the question is, like, do we want to have a special session for that? Probably not. So we need to find a time where we feel that we can slot it in.
We need to ask them if there isn't available time.
No, but I mean, I think was one of our monthly meetings.
Oh, regular.
Where we feel that the load of speed up.
Do we have a quiet month?
Do you,
Usually near the end of the year, but that's a ways away.
well, do you want to have us say what we learned and have SAPA members, people from SAPA there, so that the public can ask them questions as well as us, so it's not just a conversation with.
Yeah, maybe that's a good idea.
I mean, if we could get enough public.
There wasn't enough time for that really last time.
Who was our SAFO representative? No, it's changed.
Well, we had the head of CECM come in, make the presentation.
Right.
And the new head of SAPO is, I'm blanking on his name, he's been around for, I think, less than a year.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, sorry, give me a second. So Dawn Polson, remember, was the head of CECM when she presented.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I'm searching through my email. He was at the meeting. Rayner, that's right. Ray Edwards, head of SAPO. And then we had Paresh as well, who's the director of operations. So those are like the key 3 people.
I could even just have one person if it's public. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, no, we could just have an open Q&A. Yeah, maybe we can do that.
But I like when you prepare
Right,
questions.
what's going on? Yes.
Oh, allergies.
She knows, right?
All right.
And my allergist retired, so
Oh, no.
I need to find a new allergist.
All right, anything else? All right, thanks.
Yeah. I need to start shots, avoiding shots. I'm on everything else and it's still.
Is it general allergies or specific?
I mean, ragweed, grass, pollen.
Good things.
All